This piece is a nihilistic take on a post-human world, which emphasizes the frivolity of man's pursuits, the short-sighted immediacy of his desires and pursuits, and the blunt temporality of all that he is, does, and creates. Needs such an account be written? Is it not overdone? There are two elements unique to this short work that set it apart from those like it, apart from the shortness itself. The fallen walls that men once built to protect themselves have not, in this story, been reduced to an entirely meaningless existence. Their remains are said to now serve as habitat for the gray toad. This is a glimmer of hope for the human race, if the hope is in our having a lasting impact on nature. The walls, without man, are not entirely without purpose, and there is some satisfaction to be found in their lingering functionality. It seems selfish to say that this inversion only increases the gloom of the setting, for should we not care for the gray toad? If we do care for him, then we ought to be happy that our creation can serve as a home for him. Should we not be grateful that our bodies, in their buried decomposition, serve as food for the worms? If we care for the worms, then we should. Ought we to care for our wriggling friends of the lithosphere? They seem to be pretty important in terms of their role in the biological and chemical processes that regulate the earth as a whole. However, human empathy is rooted primarily in familiarity, not in recognition of objective utilitarian significance. The second and more notable feature of this work is Lovecraft's mention of the genie and the demon of the valley. While the demon's direct recollection of the name man feels heavy-handed and unnecessary, it does serve a purpose in describing the nature of this now extinct man. Man is said to rhyme with the river Than. His aspect is said to be like that of the little apes. These claims allow man to quote-unquote rhyme with nature, but not to be one with it. Man lives in nature, but is set apart in some way. Furthermore, Lovecraft, with the presence of the genie and the demon, introduces the concept of beings akin to spirits of a mythological nature, but who exist separately from man, as man is set apart from nature. These beings are not described deeply, but are certainly neither omnipotent nor omnipresent. The demon is memory because he lives in the valley, while the genie haunts the moonbeams and thus lives primarily at a greater distance from the acts of animals and men. These spirits merely observe, merely haunt. They are known only to observe and speculate, not to intervene or control. They are largely indifferent to the presence or disappearance of man. Lovecraft is suggesting, with this work, that man, though his mark shall be made on that which is beneath him, will ultimately prove unnecessary to both the biological life forms of the earth and to the spiritual realm, which man has, as of late, taken credit for creating, threatening to shrink the actual infinite into imagined oblivion.